Hello, everybody. Welcome to round 4 of the Mixed Class Endurance Cup for 505racing.com. This is our first 90-minute endurance race for 2024, so hopefully everyone had a good holiday. We are about middle of the way in January already, so 2024 is underway. We are in round 4, so we're at Circuit of the Americas over in Austin, Texas tonight. It looks like a small grid, unfortunately, so there probably won't be a whole lot of action to really talk about, but we'll find out. We'll just see what happens here. Guys are finishing up the qualifying. Everyone has pretty much gotten a lap time in, except for a handful of people that are probably just gonna stay in the back and try to fight through a pack, I guess, to make it a little bit of a challenge. So we do have 90 minutes tonight, and this is mixed class, so remember, as a reminder, in mixed class you have multiple classes on the track at the same time. So in this specific series, we have GT3, GT4, and Porsche Cup. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3 GT3 drivers, 1 GT4 driver, and 2 Porsche Cup drivers tonight. So we'll probably have some interesting stuff go on at the beginning of the race, and then as people start to spread out a bit, there might be a little bit of traffic, but I think the Porsche Cup cars aren't that much slower than GT3, so everyone's basically just going to be running circles around the GT4 car tonight. So hopefully Simon makes it a little bit interesting with his GT4 car there. Meanwhile, while we wait, we can take a look and see what the points are like for this series. So far by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young now playing on Spotify. Alright, so Albert and Bruno are tied with 17 points, tied for first, and they're both in the race tonight, so we should at least see something interesting there between the two of them. I didn't get to see what Albert's qualifying time. Well, he didn't put one down, but I don't remember what he was running in practice, so I'm not quite sure what we're in for there. In GT4, since we only have Simon on the track tonight, he doesn't really have any competition except for his brother down there in 4th place, who did not show up tonight. So Simon just needs to. All he's got to do is finish the race, and he'll maintain that first position. And then in the Porsche Cup Series, we have a pretty good battle going on between Will and Sam. They're both here tonight, so that'll be fun to watch. Jonathan looks like I believe is still having some hardware trouble, so I don't think we'll see him tonight. And haven't seen Alan in a while. Not sure if he's going to show up last minute or not. While we're at it, we'll take a look at CoTA, the Circuit of the Americas. This is a fairly new track. It's not that old. So as I mentioned earlier, it's in Austin, Texas, over here in the U.S. It opened about 11 years ago, give or take. It's, let's see, it is 3.4 miles, so over 5.5 kilometers, 20 turns, so it's got a lot of turns. And the GT3 record on this track, I believe, is a 205.3, so that's the GT3 real world record. Let's see. Porsche, is there a Porsche Cup record? Yeah, okay. 208.2 is the Porsche Cup record on this track in real life. So it'll be interesting to see what our guys pull up on this track tonight. All right, so qualifying is over. Everyone's finishing up their setups, getting comfortable for the long haul. So it is 90 minutes, not super long endurance race, but it's longer than our normal series on Thursday nights. And speaking of that, our Thursday night GT3 series is going to pick up here pretty soon. So be sure to check in on that. So 5FIRacing.com is a good place to start, or just go straight to SimGrid, thesimgrid.com, and search for the 5FI Racing host, and you can get a good look at what we have going on. I believe, let's see, let me look real quick. Yeah, we do have Season 5 starting on the 25th. Excuse me. So not quite next week. So one more off-season week, and then we get started in the GT3 series. So looks like they are getting ready for the start of the race. Getting the tires warmed up. Sam is starting from the pits. Not sure if that was on purpose or not. Maybe he just wants to make things interesting. Although that's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I missed that entirely.
Green light, green light. Go, go,
But
go.
race is on. Alright, well, Kyle had a great start. And he's looking comfortable tonight in that Audi, so I think we'll see some pretty good lap times from him. So he's just starting to, the GT3 guys are just starting to pull away, just a little bit. With Will Stewart back there in third overall, but obviously first for the Porsche Cup class. For whatever reason, Sam had to start from the pits, so we'll figure that out later. So we'll just watch and see how this unfolds first few laps. It was very clean, of course, but hopefully with 6 cars it should be clean. I would expect nothing less from these guys at this point. This is a fun track to me. I actually kind of enjoy it. I think it's probably not a favorite in the league, but and the audience is pretty split down the middle. You know, either love or hate it. There's not really a lot in between on this one, but I definitely enjoy it quite a bit. Yeah, good question, Juan. What happened to everyone? I'm not sure. I am assuming that people most likely forgot about the race since it's first one of the year, in the new year. So everyone's still on their holiday weekend mode. But where are you at, man? You should be here. We should be on this track. So Albert chimed in on chat saying he ran a 206, so probably going to be, sounds like it's going to be the fastest of the night. But he's got plenty of time to claw his way up to the front. So Kyle just needs to keep it clean and consistent. So, yeah, Bruno is starting to lose a bit of time on Kyle. But let's take a peek at Albert and watch him try and overtake Will in the Cup car. Excuse me. It's coming up on him already. And all he's got to do is just keep it clean. He should be okay. But the rules with the missed class, you do not have to get out of the way. Oh, no. Looks like Will had a little, lost the back end bit there. It's bad news for him, except Sam, who's his only real competition tonight, is so far back. I don't know if that was enough to help Sam out at all. So he's a good ways back. So, you know, maybe if Will wanted to keep it interesting, he would just kind of slow down and wait up for Sam a bit. But definitely not required. And here we are in this, what, third lap, and we already have some pretty big gaps going on. So it should get dark throughout the race. It may not necessarily be completely nighttime by the end of the race, but it should be dark enough that they will have to turn on their headlights. So they'll have a little bit of a light change, not much of a weather change. It's sunny and clear, 20 degrees Celsius, no rain in the forecast. So nothing crazy. They got a nice easy track, good weather. So we'll just sit back with the drivers and watch this unfold. Let's see, Albert is about 6.5 seconds, give or take, on Bruno in second. But his lap times, let's see, he doesn't have a really clean one logged yet, but his lap times from practice anyway will indicate that we'll probably start to creep up on them pretty soon. We'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, there you can see the sun there. It's starting to go down. Which means the track will probably cool a little bit. So they may have to make some adjustments in tire pressures if they decide to pit. So in these races, we do not mandate a pit. So you could try and run the full 90 minutes without a pit if you'd like, or you can try and do a one stop. It's up to the drivers in this series. Alright, let's head back to Sam, see how he's doing. Should have a pretty easy overtake on the GT4 car driven by Simon tonight, who is probably just going to consider this a practice night, since there's no one he has to worry about really losing position against. So Porsche easily overtook GT4 there, while he makes his way up to Will as best he can, but he is quite a ways back. So if he has any hope, it would be to try and catch up to Will when he pits and just not pit. So hopefully he's got a full tank of fuel. And as we were watching that, we did see, if you notice at the top of your screen, just a little bit ago, Bruno brought in the fastest lap, and then right after that, Albert took it right from him with the 208.6. So Albert is going a faster pace. Let's see, I expect maybe let's see, maybe 2 or 3 more laps, I would guess. I'll say it's my prediction, and then Albert will be battling Bruno. Well, while we wait for that to happen, I'll just remind everyone that this is an open league, so we are open to the public. If you want to check us out at thesimgrid.com, it's a platform we use for scheduling races and registering cars. And you have plenty of time to enter this series. So this series specifically goes second Saturday of every month, and it'll go on until the end of the summer. And there are prizes for the winner of each class in this series. So if you're watching, there is an opportunity to win an actual tangible prize. Oh, Sam. Yellow flag for Sam. That sounds like anger. It sounds like an angry Porsche and probably an angry Sam inside there. We didn't get to see what happened, but to reiterate, we have this series, plenty of time to get in. It's not too late. The points are set up in such a way so that you can jump in and easily get into the fight with, in just a couple of races. So it's not too late to join this series if you like going longer runs, 90 minutes, and you like racing through traffic. And then in a couple weeks, on the 25th, which is every Thursday night in the US, we have our GT3 series. This is sort of our main flagship league series there. So that season 5 starts up in 2 weeks. Be sure to register your driver and car as soon as you can. Join us in Discord for the discussions around the races. And then of course we do have our spec series on Monday nights, so everyone's off this Monday. I expect to see a lot more people on the grid for Spec Series. This is GT4 only on Monday nights, so that's in a couple nights here. It's only 4 races. It's just the month of January for that class, but it's been a fun series so far. So everyone's welcome to join. Bruno's still about a second and a half from Kyle. Their pace is extremely close. They're both running 209s, about 0.3 of a second off from each other. So it's as long as Kyle keeps it consistent and clean, Bruno will probably struggle to maintain his distance. However, while they continue to try and battle with their GT3s, Albert has gained more time. He's down to just under 4 seconds behind Bruno. I think I predicted 2 laps for him to catch up. It sounds like that might have been there might have been a little bit too conservative. Looks like it might be another. Oh man, that's hard to say. Maybe we'll call it 2 more laps. He should be right on Bruno's tailpipe. And let's see, Simon. Gotta give him some screen time. Nope, go back. So by himself, of course. Not really at risk of losing his race position or overall points position. So he's just out to have fun. Maybe cause a little havoc for the GT3 drivers as they come by. Well, Bruno has definitely gained some ground on Kyle, and you can see right there Albert's not too far behind. So it's definitely getting interesting now. Is Bruno going to try and pass in the S's? Hopefully they don't get too scrappy here, because then it won't be much for Albert to just fly right by him if they get into a scuffle. Alright, here we go. Now we have a race. Yeah, they're getting dangerously close to each other. Albert's about 2 seconds faster than both Kyle and Bruno. But he's gonna have to pass each one of them quickly and cleanly, one at a time. Or just watch the action unfold in front of him. Maybe one of them spins out or hits each other. Then he doesn't have to worry about it. But he's trying to make some moves for sure. He doesn't feel like waiting for it. He wants to get out in front, get that clean air, put everyone else behind him. And a nice view down the straight. At this point, Albert's just trying to find a window Bruno's not making it easy. He's definitely protecting those lines. But he doesn't want to lose the race line because he doesn't want to lose time to Kyle. So that's definitely the worst place to be in right now for Bruno, is fighting off Albert behind you and still trying to stay fast enough to stay with Kyle. Oh boy, here we go. 8 laps in. This is where it could get real messy. And 2 Ferrari 296s, which is interesting. I do like that car, actually. It's pretty easy to drive. And Albert took that inside line, but Bruno kept it, gave him space for the turns, and that was it. So Albert takes second pretty cleanly. And now Kyle's gotta protect his lines from Albert. Uh-oh. Is Albert gonna... Nope, wasn't able to take the outside. Keep it clean in the S's. Yep, don't want to make a move there. That'd be rough. Just giving him a little bump. Oh, man. So Kyle is trying to keep those lines protected, but they're not the fastest line around the track, which is good for Bruno. Allows Bruno to stay with them. Oh, so Bruno's deciding to get his pit out of the way, although I shouldn't say it that way because pits are not required in this series, so maybe he needed some fuel? No. 1 second. Yeah, hard to say what he really needs there. I mean, they're only 10 laps in. I can't imagine he needs fuel or tires at this point, so I'm not quite sure. Hopefully he is aware that pits are not required. Check in with him after the race and figure out what happened there, or why he decided to pit. forward with Albert. Albert knows he's got plenty of time to pass. He doesn't need to be super ultra aggressive here with over an hour of driving left. But he's going to attempt to just wear down Kyle by just peeking into the inside of each turn. Hopefully to try and distract him. Oh man, so that's what Albert was waiting for. Just a little bit of a mistake there is all it took for Albert to take that position. And he is now leading the race, and if he is allowed to continue on at his current pace, he will likely continue to pull away. And since Bruno went into the pits, Kyle doesn't have to worry about Bruno anymore. So it'll be a while before we see any changes in position at this point, I think, because we don't know if, oh, interesting, a little late break there. Maybe looking in his rearview mirror a little bit too long. Now Kyle's putting on the same pressure that Albert was putting on him. Giving him a taste of his own medicine. Alright, so let's take a look at Will, who has no competition around him at this point. Running a 2:11.9 and his Porsche Cup. I know Will definitely doesn't like this track. We were kind of joking about that a few days ago. So he'll be glad when this race is over. I think he was dreading this one. I was kind of hoping that we would see some action between Will and Sam. But I missed what happened to Sam at the start, which caused him to start from the pits, or... well, I'm not sure. Alright, there's Sam. He's coming out. He knows he's probably a lap down or so it's not really that going to be, that serious in terms of position, but we should see Sam and Will at least get to battle it out for a few laps. Yeah, he's not too far off there. Can't really see his race gap since he's 2 laps behind, but I'm glad he decided just to get out there and just give Will something to aim at. Yeah, I can't be because he's down a couple laps. I can't tell what his actual time gap is. So it's hard for me to tell if he's gaining on Will or not. But we will see. It kind of looks like he's staying right there with him. He's not really losing or gaining time. And that's good, because it won't take much of a mistake by Will for Sam to catch up. And for it to get a little bit interesting between the two. Oh, broke loose there. Common story on the Porsche. That rear end loads, kick out. So we do have some traffic. We got a GT4 coming up that Will's gonna have to deal with here, driven by Simon, who is not obligated to move out of the way. So Simon can stay right on his line, and Will has to safely find a way around, which could potentially, well, never mind. He went right by there. But there was a potential for him to lose some time trying to get around Simon that would allow Sam to catch up, but it didn't look like it happened on that lap. But let's see, where are we at? Simon's running 2:23.9 in that GT4. The Porsche guys are running 2:09s. No, sorry, 2:11s. Yeah, actually right around 2:12, give or take. So I expect Will and Sam to come up on Simon again in probably the next eight or 9 laps. Alright, so what does that do for Sam? Not too much. What's going on the track here? Guess I should check chat. Anyone in chat? Oh, there we go. Those livery colors. Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually built in the game. I don't think it's custom. It's kind of a cool paint scheme on Will's Porsche. Alright, looks like Albert decided to pit after 14 laps. What would that be? Would that be tires? Or did we miss something? Number 44. Oh, let's do a flag for 44. May have missed that while watching Will and Sam. Okay, so Albert has to climb his way back up to Kyle. Yellow for Sam? Really? Oh, seemed fine to me. Oh, and looks like he's... Looks like he's just gonna do some racing with Simon, potentially. Bruno knocked down to 4th after his pit. Just a little bit wide there. Well, through all that, Will was able to sneak up into second place. And knowing Will, I doubt he will pit on this race at all. I imagine he will go the full 90 minutes without pitting. Meanwhile, Albert is attempting to regain his position up with Kyle. So we did miss a yellow flag. It's locked in the sheet. That's nothing's locked. Let's see. Nothing's locked. So it's like he hit a wall. So Simon and Zoom are continuing to play around. And the Cup car is going to blow by the GT4 on that straight. A little bit of a got squirrely there a bit. Whoop. Took the bump a little hard there. Alright, well, I'm gonna take a break. Feel free to continue watching them go at it. I'll be back in just a bit. Alright, sorry about that. I am back. Doesn't look like we missed much. Alright, and Sam's just waiting for Will. Which, that's what I was kind of hoping he would do. Just give the viewers a race to watch. So good call, Sam. Come on, Sam. Oh, those bumps are rough. Might have added a little bit of time. He's having a hard time keeping up with him. Let's see, Sam is at his best 213.1. Will's a 212.0. So he's just a tad faster, and he is in second overall. Will's got some scratches on the front there. I'm not quite sure what that would have been from. Oh, right. There was a bit of a spin out towards the beginning of the race, I think it was. I just tapped the wall a little bit. Alright. Bruno and Simon. So Bruno just had to get around Simon there. Bruno's still in fourth. Third overall for the GT3 class. He's got a lot of ground to make up on Albert. Kyle has decided to pit. 20 laps in, so my guess be tires must be starting to degrade a bit. It's about the halfway point of the race. So don't expect to see any more pits. And Will went ahead and grabbed P1. And Kyle got his pit. And as I mentioned earlier, I do expect Will to most likely stay out on the track and out of the pits. But Albert's not far behind.
way, Mark. Still a long way to go.
Albert's attempting to reclaim his P1 position from earlier that he lost. Can I use my power as race director to tell Will to play nice? Will was trying to play nice with you. He wasn't playing mean. Oh no! Oh no, that. So Albert got by Will, but it looks like Will had lost the tail end a bit. Almost hit the wall. Oof. And then Simon jumps that curb. So Will did lose some time there, but nothing to really worry about, as he is pretty much alone in his class up there. So Sam and Simon are trying to have some fun in the back here. Well, it's almost not fair. Porsche GT3 Cup should outrun that GT4. He's letting him by. Ooh. Yeah, so we'll take this opportunity again to remind everyone to head on over to thesimgrid.com and check out 5FI Racing. Put the link in the chat for those watching. So if you're interested in joining in this series, second Saturday of every month, so it's long. There's a lot of more races to go in this series. Our Monday night GT4 only series that just spun up last week, and the GT3 series on Thursday night starting on the 25th. So head on over to Sigrid, get signed up. And while you do that, we'll watch Albert try and overtake Kyle again for P1 with about 40 minutes left to go in our 90-minute race tonight. If you're just joining us and you have any questions about the league or about this type of racing in general, I'll try and address them in chat. So feel free to interact if you're curious about what we are doing here. Whew. Albert lost some time there. But he scooped it right back up. Okay, boys. Ooh, Albert lost it in the S's. I thought he was going to come around and smack Kyle, but looks like it was pretty clean wreck there, so no, I don't think he had any damage. He's just going to have to compose himself and get back together, get back on that track, and try that again. And we haven't seen Bruno much. He dipped into the pits early on with the battle between Albert and Kyle. We haven't really seen much from him since then. I feel like it was a little bit early to get into the pits there, so we'll follow up with him after the race and figure out what that strategy was about. Alright, so Albert definitely lost a lot of time on that incident there, so let's go over to Simon still. Nope, doesn't look like it. Looks like Sam's all by himself on the track. Oh, that's because, excuse me, that's because Simon went into the pits. So now Albert's gonna have to get by the GT4. And he just sneaks in there as he took that turn a little wide. Not making the same mistake on the previous lap. Oh, that's right. The weather or the time of day was in the morning, not in the evenings. The sun was coming up, not setting. So the sun has gone all the way up, and the track temperature did go up just a tick. Don't know if it'll be enough really to mess with anyone's setups. It's not too drastic a change. Okay, here we are back with Will trying to get around Simon. Put a little black on the track there as he tears around that turn. So there have been no incidents in this race, although there's only 6 cars, so there really shouldn't be, but still, it's been a few decent battles and not a single tap. Everyone's been extremely civil with each other. Let's see. Yep, okay. So Kyle leading the race currently with the best lap of a 2:07.8, and you can see down there on the bottom right his last being a 2:09.0. Just over 10 seconds behind him is Albert right here with his best being a 2:07.3, and his last, as you can see, 2:08.7. So definitely faster pace than Kyle, but he's had a couple issues keeping it steady in the S's, and that has cost him a bit. We do still have about 30 minutes left, just a little over 30 minutes left in the race, so it's not over yet. But being 11 seconds behind Kyle, if Kyle keeps it clean and doesn't pit, it's going to take probably 5 or 6 laps, I would think, for Albert to catch up to Kyle, but we'll see. Okay. Looks a little better there. Same waiting for Simon to move. Everyone's so spread out. It looks like they're the only ones on the track. So, yeah, not really much to say here. We have, we're missing probably at least 6 regular drivers that would normally be on the track tonight, which would have made things a little bit more interesting. And we have over 20 people registered for this series that just don't want to show up. So I'll probably start making some room for getting rid of the no-shows, opening up some more spots for some people to join. So we'd love to have you if you're interested. The mixed class racing is pretty fun if you haven't done it before. It's really challenging because you have the different capabilities of vehicles. You have sometimes you just have to punch through traffic as part of your race, which makes it interesting. All right, so we finally are seeing Will and Sam go at it again. Not for position, of course. At this point, it's just going to be for bragging rights. Ooh. There you go, guys. Good work. Putting on a show for the viewers. These are a couple really good Cup car drivers right here. Oh, right as I said that, of course. It's gonna seem like I cursed him. Sorry, Sam. That was not the intent. There you go, brother. Get back out there. Go get him. Kyle still has a pretty comfortable lead on Albert. It was about 11 seconds. It's down to about 10, so Albert will make time, but it's gonna take quite a few laps for him to catch up, and the clock is ticking. And this will be an important win for Kyle. It should put him in the lead for points. It should put him above Albert if he can finish out the day like this. Wow, so Kyle is getting a little bit faster. Remember, Albert's best time of the fastest time of the entire race so far by Albert is a 2:07.857, and Kyle put in a 2:07.895. So Kyle's getting a little bit faster. Get more comfortable. Though Albert's gap has dropped to about 9 seconds. Whoop! That dang curb. It is ugly. Let's see, Will 212.4 best. Excuse me, best. And his last was, oh, excuse me, just put in a 211.9. So that is Will's fastest lap of this race. And that's pretty good. Let's see, that is, where was the, what did I say the cup time was in real life? Oh, cup is actually 208.2. Riley Dickinson. Last year in the 2023 Austin Porsche Cup North America. 208.2. Wow, that's pretty good. That's about what our GT3 drivers are running. Albert is about 8 seconds behind Kyle now, so he is gaining. Ooh, man, it's going to be cutting it close. It'll be the end of the race if he manages to catch him. Assuming Kyle keeps it consistent. Hey, here comes Sam out of the pits. That was his second pit stop, potentially to repair some damage. And like I predicted, Will Stewart's still out there with the same set of tires he started with and the same tank of fuel. And Kyle is so close to taking the fastest lap of this race. So we got about 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left of our 90-minute endurance series. Round 4. And Austin. And there goes. Was that Sam? Yeah, goodness. The Cup car's not agreeing with Sam tonight. It's giving him some grief. That is got to be frustrating. Whoa. The Camaro ate a little bit too much of that curve and almost lost it. Alright, I'm gonna take another break just for a minute. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I'm back. Doesn't look like much has changed. Oh, no, I take that back, actually. Albert is about 5.5 seconds behind Kyle. So he made up some time there. So I wonder if Kyle made a little bit of a mistake. So it's very likely that in the last 5 minutes of the race, we might see Kyle and Albert banging doors again. And Will, of course, has a very comfortable gap in front of him and behind him. No real worries or anything to be anxious about. We'll get a nice bump in points for the series. Same with Bruno. He holds it together really well in those S's. It's definitely something to watch. Okay, Kyle has lost his gap, and it's down to about 3 seconds, which is pretty dangerous. So I wonder if it's a tire degradation issue. We're on board with Simon and his... There's that curve again. So a little fun on the straights, keeping it interesting. Back to Kyle. I think Kyle knows Albert is there, so he probably sees him in his mirror about now. So he knows he's coming. I thought it might have been the last 5 minutes of the race. Looks like it's about the last 10 or 12 minutes of the race, where these guys start battling again. Kyle just has to make sure he keeps all the doors shut. Yeah, you're struggling tonight, Sam. I don't know what's going on. Might be a bad setup. I still don't know why you started from the pits either. Maybe you can enlighten us on that one. Alright, Albert is under 2 seconds away from Kyle. So this is going to... This will be interesting to watch. Will Albert lose it in the S's, trying to stay with Kyle? Can Kyle keep the door closed on the inside lines? Now we're back to... Oh, we were watching. Will and Simon, I think. No, that's Salmon's. Salmon's back out on the track. Alright, we're gonna move the action back up to the front, because Albert's gonna try and make a move as quickly as he can here. Alright, here we go. Whoops. Sorry, Simon. We're gonna keep it on here. That's usually where Albert had a couple mistakes tonight. I think it was right around that spot, so he's going to make sure he doesn't do that again. See Albert's last lap, 2:08.2. And Kyle last was a 2:09.3. So Albert definitely has a quicker pace, but Kyle doesn't care about that. He's just going to keep his line protected. He's only got to keep him away for the next 7.5 minutes. Sounds easy. This is when things get a little hairy. Tires have degraded a bit. He's probably been driving on those tires for about 45 minutes or so at this point. And he's probably been pushing them pretty hard. Fuel tank should be nearly empty, so we won't have that extra weight pulling them down. Oh no. Kyle lost it. Want to make sure it was a safe rejoin. But that cost him a position. But no contact, so he at least has an opportunity to get that position back if something were to happen with Albert. And the last just under 6 minutes of the race to go, which is going to be right about 3 more laps, roughly. Kyle's not letting him off easy. He's right there, keeping the pressure on. Okay, we got a GT4 driver, Simon, who might slow them down a bit. He tried to stay out of the way even though he doesn't have to, but I was kind of hoping he would stay in the way. Oh, that looked hard. That looked like a hard hit into the wall by Sam. Oh my gosh. That Porsche is giving Sam a hard time tonight. It's hard to watch. A couple more laps left to go in this race. See, Bruno got around Will. Took Bruno most of the race to get back up to third position since his pit. Alright, back to Kyle and Albert. They're definitely going to make the last couple laps interesting. Albert doesn't seem to be pulling away from Kyle that much at all, actually. In fact, Kyle is within striking distance of making a pass. Oh, lost a little time there. Can tell the gap's increased a bit. What? Why are they pitting? Not sure about that. Oh, track limits. Okay, they must both have drive-through penalties for track limits. I wish I could get that information. Yeah, okay, drive-through cleared for Kyle and Albert. That was hilarious. That's pretty funny. Oh, got an accident with Simon and Sam. Just after I said this race had no incidents in it, I finally had one. I'll have to look at that. Let's look at that after the race. The GT4 causing some traffic. And we'll make them choose different lines. Oh, and then Kyle decides to Tokyo drift it. Ah. Right at the end of the race, that's gotta be super frustrating. Oh, his tires must be wrecked. He probably has no grip in those tires right now. And with that, Albert wrapped up the win in round 4 at CoTA in our 90-minute mixed class endurance series. Sam almost took out Kyle with that stunt. Yellow for Will, not sure why. But either way, Will maintains his lead in the series, the points lead, and wins his class for tonight. So congratulations to Will and the Porsche Cup winner. Congratulations to Albert, the GT3 class winner. And that'll do it. Thank you everyone for watching. Reminder, go to thesimgrid.com, check out 505 Racing, and sign up for this series or our Monday Night GT4 series. And just a couple nights, and then Thursday GT3 starting up on the 25th. So we'd love to have you fill out this grid. So good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. For those of you with a 3-day weekend, enjoy your Monday. And for those of us in Texas, prepare for the winter storm.